It's snack time. I'm your host, Marno. Joining me on the playground today is my friend, Kevin, who is sharing his favorite snack, specifically Kettle brand honey Dijon chips. Kettle chips.
Kettle brand chips.
Kettle brand chips. Extra crispy. I also love Kettle brand chips, and just chips in general, so I'm really excited for this episode. Hi, Kevin. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me. It was a good excuse to buy some chips.
Right?
Yeah.
Although, sadly, I was unable to find the chips of this episode, which...
Wait, you weren't able to find them?
No. So I got a Trader Joe's type of chip called patio potato chips. Mixed bag of sea salt and vinegar, delicious dill, home-style ketchup, and smoke and sweet barbecue flavored potato chips. Which sounds... It's literally a mixed bag. But I've had it before, and it's so good.
So you're telling me that bag has like 4 or 5 different flavors of chips in it?
And none of them are
honey Dijon.
That is correct. But you know what? We're here for fun flavored chips. I think the specificity of this bag of chips matches the level that your chips of choice bring to the table.
Oh, 100%.
The snack table.
The snack table. I love that. Funny story about the fact you couldn't find the chips is I also couldn't find the chips. Admonishing you when I couldn't either. But I did get Kettle brand chips. They are the yogurt and green onion. I always want to say yogurt and sour cream, even though it's sour cream and green onion, but it's yogurt and green onion. So, it's like fancier than...
Is it fancier and healthier, or is it like the same amount of health, which is not much? Let's
look at the nutritional facts. Considering that 18 chips has 12 grams of fat, I would say, also fat is not always a indicator of health.
There's good fats,
and bad fats. But I will say that they taste really good.
Yeah. Do they basically taste the same as sour cream and green onion, or no?
I guess there's a slight tardier flavor.
Ooh,
but
which I'm all about.
It's subtle. It's like a subtle whisper of yogurt.
Ooh, speaking of like whispers and other sounds, we should do like a crunch for the listeners.
What flavor are you going to do a crunch of?
I can't really tell what they are.
Wait, they're not like different colors?
Well, they are, but like barbecue and ketchup, there's just like a lot of that same color. So I don't know what this is. It's like orangey, so maybe barbecue or ketchup.
Give it a sniff.
Yeah, well. Oh, I think it's barbecue. Wait, I want to try to get not barbecue.
Do you not like barbecue chips?
No, I freaking love them, but I want to try to get like a different kind of one.
Oh, yeah.
I think this one is dill.
Okay, I love a dill chip.
Yeah, it looks like there's actual dill on it.
Ooh,
should we eat our chips at the same time?
I was just about to say, do you want to do it at the same time?
Should we rip off Rhett and Link and dink it and sink it?
Oh, yes, dink it and sink it.
Dink it. I'm going to hit my mic and sink it. Mmm. Okay.
That is so good.
That's really good. Ooh, oh my god, it's like so sour. Yum!
I will say, now that I'm paying more attention to the flavor of these chips, they are more tardier than like a regular sour cream and onion.
Yum. I need to get some of those. I wonder, is there malic acid in yours? I'm going to look for malic acid.
What does that mean?
Malic acid and citric acid are used usually to make things sour.
Oh. No, mine has citric acid.
Okay, yeah, mine too. Mine has citric acid. Malic acid, I think, is usually more for like, maybe for candy.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know, but delicious.
I love a fancy trip.
This is a product of Canada.
Whoa!
Which, listeners, that's where Kevin lives.
I live in Canada, even though I grew up in California with Michelle.
Literally, we've known each other for... You're maybe like the person that I'm in contact with still that I've known the longest, possibly.
Yeah.
Oh no, do you know what? My friend Ida, I've known since preschool.
Oh, okay, yes.
But
I remember Ida.
Yeah, I
From
would have met
daycare?
you. Yeah, we all like met in daycare. And I think I would have met you in kindergarten in daycare. So, yeah, right?
I showed up at our elementary school at 2nd grade. So
Oh, okay. So I would have met you in first grade.
in 1st grade.
Oh, so same amount of time as Chad then.
Wow. But I mean, like, you and Chad were like actual friends because you were in the same grade. We just kind of knew each other.
Yeah, we just knew each other. But like our moms weirdly, I guess, like talked at school.
Yeah, the Filipino moms always find each other on
True,
playground.
the Filipino moms. And the fact that your mom like always had like a million kids around her. My mom was like, oh my God, Felicia, bless her soul. Like,
did you know that my mom had a child at that school for 18 years straight?
Oh my God.
Because when I left, or my 6th grade year, my little sister, who's 5 years younger than me, was just going to 1st grade. She had done kindergarten there, or however that lines up. And then as she was leaving, my youngest sister was going into like 1st grade or kindergarten. So like our family has literally been at that school for 18 years straight.
That is so wild.
Mm-hmm. And the wildest thing is that like we still live near there, but there's no one in our family goes to that school. And we moved closer to the school when my youngest sister was on her last year there. Jokes.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's such a great place to live. Like every morning, well, not every morning, but almost every morning, Forrest is my dog, walk like around that whole neighborhood because there's so many good little like walking paths, and you know, walking by the school that I went to always has some fun little memories.
The memes. I remember when I was like a little kid and I had just moved to the town and I heard all these kids talking about the green belt and I had no clue what that meant. Am I allowed to curse on this pod?
Oh yeah, we've marked ourselves for explicit content, don't you?
Okay, here it is. I had no clue what the fuck that meant. What the fuck was a green belt? But I found out it was just a strip of grass that went through the neighborhood.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we had our own green belt in my neighborhood, but it was nothing compared to the green belts that y'all had over at your neighborhood. Like expansive, multiple, fun little walking paths, like
on the other side of the road.
Yeah. You were closer to the school, like
marginally.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of wild is, and I take it for granted these days, in, I don't know, maybe the past 10, no, not even 10, less than 10 years ago, the only like street really separating my neighborhood from our elementary school just a few years ago turned into an actual stoplight. And before that, it was just like a blinking, it would sense when people were walking and it would just like blink warning lights for cars. But people go, even though the speed limit is, I think, like 30 or 35, people zoom down because it's slightly downhill.
Oh, 100%.
And I cannot believe that for, 7 years, I crossed that street to go to school.
Wasn't there a crosswalk there though? Like
there is a crosswalk there, and yeah, during school times there was a crossing guard. Okay, but I would sometimes just go to the school, you know, like to play on the playground and stuff, and there ain't no crossing guard on the weekends or past school hours.
Do you want to know the funniest one? Well, not funny, but like one of the funniest looking back memories I've ever had of that street. Me and my family were going to school. My mom was dropping us off, or like driving to drop us off, right? And it was pouring heavy rain. And so my mom, being the good Samaritan she is, sees these kids walking to school and pulls over and asks them to get in the car. But then they freaked out because they thought she was a stranger.
And you guys have always had vans too, so it's like literally getting into a van.
My mom like opened the outside, like, sliding door. And, like, I'm sitting there with my backpack. Like, obviously, we're going to school. My mom's not going to abduct you and sell you into some, like, child trafficking ring. Like, we were
Like,
on the way to the school.
Not even going on major streets.
No. Like it was like, hi, it's pouring rain. You're using your backpack as a cover. Just get in the car so we can drive you to the thing. My mom was just trying to be nice, but the kids looked so scared that I'm pretty sure they didn't get in the car. But when we got to the school, my mom parked and got down and went to the office and was like, told the office ladies, like, if any kids say that, like, someone in a green van tried to get them into their car, that was me. There's no abductors around.
Gosh.
I was just trying to help because it was raining. Elementary school.
I mean, that's so nice of her, but also, a little bit of stranger danger. I feel like especially too, like, we grew up in the time of, like, the height of stranger danger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we used to be warned, like, to check for, like, syringe holes in our Halloween candy and stuff 100%. Like that. Like, I was like, who would be wasting their money on drugging kids, like, at home?
And randomly, like, it's not even like you get to watch the kids be all randomly high. You're just gonna drug them and then let them just be high on their. They're already high on sugar, friend.
They won't even get to see, like, I mean, not that people should be doing that, but
no. But, like, if you were gonna, you should do it to your friends. Why would you waste
your money on that? Yeah. Like, drugs are expensive.
Yeah, 100%. Not that I would know. I mean, swear to God, I've actually never bought drugs. The only time I've ever, like, smoked weed or anything was, like, when it was my friends.
Yeah. Well, now it's high. Now it's high in California. Now it's legal in California. So it's
also legal here. Yeah.
Oh wait. Yeah. Well, so even if you bought it, it's not like you're like buying drugs. No. It's like you're going to the weed store essentially.
Yeah. Basically,
completely legal.
You can buy it online from the government.
Really? I didn't know you could buy from the government directly.
Well, so here everything's it's relaxed a little bit. So, like, you know how there in California you can buy, like, alcohol and stuff from the grocery stores?
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, you couldn't buy alcohol from anywhere except for the LCBO, which is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. I live in the province of Ontario.
Oh.
And so, like, it's government-owned stores that are selling alcohol. Recently, they've put, like, beer and wine in grocery stores. They might have hard liquor now, too, but for the most part, it's still the good old Lickbo.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, with weed, it was kind of the same thing. So it's you buy it from the government. I think they're trying to privatize dispensaries. I was going to say depositories. Not that. But dispensaries, I think they're talking about privatizing it, or maybe they recently did. I'm not up to date on that news. But yeah, for the most part, you buy it from the government and you can order it online. Even before COVID, you can order it online and they would just send it to you.
That's that's really great, but I had no idea. When it comes to snacking, are you salty or sweet? Pick a side and show your pride with Snacktime merch. We've got stickers, we've got mugs, we've even got bucket hats. All available at shopMarno on Etsy. That's SHOPMARNO on Etsy. Now, back to Snacktime. There was a question that popped into my brain while you were talking, but now I forgot it. Aww. And I literally have a paper and pencil here because I, like, thought that might happen during, like, all of my quote unquote interviews, aka just shooting the shit with my friends.
I mean, is that not what an interview is?
I mean, it is.
All the best interviews are, even if you're interviewing a stranger, it's getting them to feel comfortable enough to shoot the shit with you.
Yeah. I mean, Yeah. But I knew that this kind of thing might happen, and I literally have the paper and pencil in front of me, and I forgot to write it down. So hopefully it comes back. It was something about like the legalization.
Well, back to these chips.
Back to these chips in childhood, because I'm going to say right now, nothing makes me feel like a freaking kid than just opening a bag of chips.
What is the chip of your childhood? Because like now that we're adults, we're eating these fancy chips from like Trader Joe's and like Kettle brand chips with the hard crunch. But like, what's your... I'm interviewing you now. What's your like all-time favorite like trash chip?
Probably gonna have to go with cheddar and sour cream because that's, I mean, when I was a kid, those were Ruffles, baby.
Ruffles, snaps.
What about you?
100%. I was gonna say the same thing. So you know how like at like that corner liquor store,
yes,
that's right by the school. Like they would have those like tiny bag of like Ruffle chips.
Yep. I would get one of those.
Or no, not sour cream and onion, sour cream and cheddar.
Okay, also sour cream and onion I used to eat when I was a little kid too. But I would get one of those and a slush puppy.
Ooh, a good old slush puppy. See, I was a bag of chips and a Slim Jim kind of kid.
No drink, just the saltiest food ever buy. A Slim Jim, not even an Arizona iced tea.
Well, I mean, Arizona
not even a mango Snapple fake juice.
That was like when I was like an older high school kid.
Okay.
Maybe like a Minute Maid fruit punch. Or a Capri Sun.
Yum.
Yeah.
Those pouches.
Do you want... one of the stupidest things me and my cousins ever did with Capri Suns were we cut the pouches open just to put it in a Ziploc bag and drink it from the corner of the Ziploc bag.
What? Why
don't know.
You just cut the pouch?
Well, we did cut the pouch, but we poured it into a Ziploc bag.
But you could have just... If the whole
drank
thing was,
it from the corner?
Yeah. Who knows? Also, I noticed you say Capri Sun, and I've always said Capri Sun.
Well, see, the thing is, I've also always said Capri Sun.
Oh.
But for some reason, I just said Capri Sun.
You've developed a affectation during this interview. Who are you, Moira Rose?
Bebe.
I recently got my parents hooked on Schitt's Creek, and it brings me so much joy to see them laughing so wholeheartedly at this show that I love so much.
It is the best show. Have you watched The Great Canadian Baking Show?
No.
Dan Levy is a host, or one of the hosts for the first 2 seasons, and he's basically just himself. Like when he's David Rose. You need to watch it. It's on Netflix. Or it's at least on Canadian Netflix.
Okay, I hope it's on American Netflix as well. That's exciting. I'm excited to watch that. Oh my God. Wow, I just got so excited. I love Dan Levy so much.
Get into it.
If there was a Dan Levy flavored chip, I would buy it.
What do you think his favorite flavor of chips are? He strikes me as the type of person who's like kind of picky about his food, though. But then also like,
too.
But also he. Wait.
I feel like he's down to try, but in the end, like sticks to his faves.
But like, he is very like excited to like try all their food when they're baking stuff.
Oh, really?
On the show, yeah. He's like the kind who's like, oh, is that an extra one? And they're like, go ahead, you can have it. Which, dream job.
Seriously. I mean, honestly, probably my ultimate dream job would just be the host of one of those food shows where they travel around and eat food and talk about it and talk to the chefs. Because I love talking about food. I love talking to people who are passionate about food as well. Like, I feel like that's another level of like food discussion. It's like, yeah, you can like shoot the shit about food or snacks as I've, created this podcast, but to talk to chefs and people that like dedicate a lot of their time and energy and passion into it is like so fun for me.
Totally agree, and I totally just crunched through that entire little monologue you had.
I mean, I've been crunching through yours, so if I have to end up just muting each of our sides of the audio.
Perfect.
It's
okay.
fine. I mean, it's snack time. Like, what am I gonna do? I have a whole bag of delicious, mouth-watering chips right here.
Okay, so you need to find a ketchup chip.
I think I had one.
Oh, you had one?
Mm-hmm.
Was it
really
your first time?
Well, I've had this bag of chips before, but I couldn't remember exactly like my feelings towards it. And now that it's being revived in my mind, I am so freaking in love with this bag of chips.
Do you know what's really frustrating? Is that ketchup chips and all dressed chips used to be like only available in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like something special. Like you go to Canada and it's just like, oh, you've never had all dressed chips. You've never had
ketchup chips?
I
don't know what all dressed chips are.
All dressed is... How to explain all dressed? Is it more vinegary? It's like salt and vinegar, but like with tomato.
Oh, I need this in my life.
Or like they're like ketchup chips without the sweet. I also haven't had all dressed chips in a couple like months, so like I would need to remind myself. But yeah.
That sounds like it would be my favorite thing ever.
Yeah. So like all dressed chips were like special to Canada, and like my sister for Christmas last year was like, hey, can you get my her now husband, but her then fiance was, or no, were they married? I think they were married at that point. Her husband, they're like, oh, can you get him a bag of ketchup chips? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then closer to, she was like, oh, you don't have to do that anymore. We found some in the grocery store. I was like, what am I supposed to get you now?
Maple syrup.
Probably. Or maple butter. Have you ever had maple butter? That shit's delicious.
No. What is that?
Basically, maple butter.
Like, you use it as butter?
Yeah, use it as like a spread.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's what I'm like. So I was like, is it like a butter or is it like a peanut butter?
It's like a, somewhere in between. It's not like hard like a butter. It's like kind of saucy.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think of what consistency. Like a loose peanut butter. You know, like your peanut butter's like a little watery.
Like when you get like organic peanut butter that like separates and you have to like mix it up and it's all like liquidy.
Do you know the tip about that though?
No.
To stop your organic peanut butter from separating, all you have to do is when it's being stored after you open it, store it upside down.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm learning a lot. I mean, how many minutes in are we? And I've already learned so much from Kevin.
To be honest, I have no clue how long we've been doing this one.
I don't know either, because it doesn't tell me on here. So, I don't know. But I'm having a grand old time, and I'm just eating these chips. So good. So, let's get back to specifically honey Dijon kettle chips. When did you first have them? How did you fall in love? Like, I want to hear the love affair you have with these chips.
Okay, so many, many moons ago, or years. Moons means months, right? Like,
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's a new moon every month, right?
Yeah. I think so. So many years ago, that isn't irrelevant. Moons are irrelevant. 4,7 moons ago. My mom brought home these honey Dijon pretzel chips.
Ooh.
Pretzel bits. They're like the Snyder's bits.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were like pretzel bits. I don't know.
I think I've had them. About. Yeah. Well, Snyder's, I've had obviously Snyder, but I think I've had the
honey Dijon.
Uh-huh.
And so like those, I had those and I was like, Mom, you need to buy these whenever you see them because they're so freaking good. And like that honey Dijon flavor is like delicious. And like I'm not a mustard, or I didn't used to be a mustard person.
Mm-hmm.
I am now. I've since made myself like it, but like yellow mustard. But like honey Dijon like always struck me as like a weird mustard flavor. And then I tried it and it was just like so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so fast forward a few years, I'm at my office at work, and it's like someone's birthday, and we're having like a party, and like there's a bowl of chips there, and I'm like, I'm gonna have me some chips because love chips,
Of course.
and so I eat the chips, and I was like, what the fuck? These taste so familiar. Why do these taste so familiar?
They were in a bowl, so they weren't like labeled. Like
they weren't labeled.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why do these taste so familiar? And then I asked the lady who brought them in, my coworker, like what chips they were, and she's like, I don't remember. I threw the bag away. Like she had bought them a couple days before the party, I guess. But she threw the bag away.
I just could not do that. Like I would know what the kind was. You know what I mean?
You know what, Michelle? Me and you are a certain type of person.
Like, because I would want to remember. Because if I really liked it, I would want it again. Like she's just Russian rouletting these chips.
It's probably when someone brings chips to a work party. It's something they bought like. Not thinking about it, right?
Okay, but like, also like really bold of her to put like a very bold flavor in an unmarked bowl and not tell anyone what flavor. Like, what if someone was like, "Oh, yummy," like plain chips, and they like hated honey.
Well, the honey Dijon ones are like bright. Well, not bright orange, but they're like the same orange as like a cheddar and sour cream.
Okay, so imagine someone going in and thinking it's cheddar sour cream, and it's definitely not. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
fair. Yeah. That's and they have a certain tang too.
It's bold of her.
Well, you know what? She was fucking bold. So, anyways, I asked what kind they were, and she didn't remember what they were, but she was like, "They're in a light orange bag." And they're Kettle brand. That's all she knew. And I was like, why do these taste so familiar? And then so one time I was at the store, I saw the orange bag and I was like, fucking shit, they're honey Dijon. That's why. And so I bought the bag for myself, and the rest was history.
Wow.
And now, well, pre-COVID, I was always the person who like volunteers to bring chips to parties. And I would bring that flavor of chip because it was, one, easy to find at the grocery store near my office, and two, I love them. So, like, if no one's going to eat them, I will eat them. And
don't you sometimes wish that happens?
Oh, it 100% always happens.
You're like, I know this isn't a crowd fave, but I love them. I'm going to get them.
My office mates like them. They're just like the kind of people that don't snack too much because they're all older. They're all like moms. And so like they don't snack a lot. And so when it comes to those like office parties, I'll be the one just like continually grabbing for chips until I've basically eaten the whole bowl by myself.
Oh, okay. So you don't like, ooh, that was a good crunch. So you don't like bring the whole bowl from the snack table like back to your desk. You like pretend like other people are gonna get some.
I just have a constant like inflow of chips to my plate.
In your office configuration, are you like near where the snacks are usually? But is it like in your break room or where is it usually?
So like we have like a cubicle setup, or like we used to in our old office because we moved out for COVID, and now we're permanently working from home.
Oh, you are? I don't think I knew this.
Indefinitely working from home until we find a new office space that can like fit.
Oh, I see.
But side note, our brands were sold last year. And so we were always planning on moving out of that old office anyways. And because COVID pushed us to work from home, they were like, okay, just move out of your desk anyways.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But we would have parties at like the big meeting table that was like kind of around the corner. And then once the party was done, they would either leave the food there, or if the party was just for us, we would move it to a table closer to our area. So, I mean, either way, it was not far.
Yeah.
And pretty accessible. So
would you like, this is like so just random questions, but whenever I've worked in an office, I've loved to like wheel around in my chair as much as possible. Would you like wheel to the snack table, or would you actually get up?
No, I would get up.
I mean, I guess it's probably not close enough to like wheel, but
yeah, I would wheel to like meetings or like small like tete-a-tetes with my coworkers that like if I'm going over to their desks, but I wouldn't wheel all the way across.
I mean, I just think it looks so silly to like wheel around, so I love to do it. Like, because your feet have to like ding, 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 like push yourself, because it's not like a wheel where it's just like smooth movement. If you're in a rolling office chair, you're like ding 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 ding.
Girl, you have to wheel backwards. You have to get those like strong
I know,
backwards
that's
pushes.
what I'm saying, but it's still with your leg. It's not like smooth arm
I
movements.
thought you were like, you know when you go forwards in a wheeled this chair?
That's more difficult for sure. I mean, I've done that a few times probably.
That's what I thought you meant when you were like ding 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 ding. No, but like I would have to wheel past like the head boss's office in order to get to the chip table. So, you know, that's probably not the best idea.
Yeah, probably doesn't look the most professional.
No, not at all.
Stay up to date with new Snacktime episodes, merch, and more on Instagram at SnackTimePod. That's SnackTimepod. See you there.
I have a question for you. Are you a single chip per person or like per bite person, or are you like a multiple chips in a stack to get a good crunch kind of person?
I think usually with chips, I do one at a time because I'm very wary of cutting the roof of my mouth. And especially with Kettle chips, they're so much sharper. It's a little bit dangerous. But I will say, if you're referring to chips in the UK, as in fries, I am a multi-fry gal all day. Unless they're like steak fries, which are really big.
Yeah. I'm the exact same way. And it's the reason why my fries and my chips always go so quickly.
So you're a multiple chip eater?
Typically. I like the crunch that like the layers.
Typically.
I like the crunch that the layers provide. So if I can find like a chip that has been like folded over.
Oh, okay. Yes. I love.
That's like the best. But if not, I will take 2 regular chips and stack them. Sometimes it used to be more, but in recent times, because you know we can only go to the groceries like once every week or whatever.
Yeah.
I try to ration my chips recently. So instead of like eating out of the bag or like pouring them in a bowl to take to my like computer, I go and stand in the kitchen and eat the chips, force myself to eat the chips one at a time, and then put the bag away.
Oh my goodness.
So that I only eat like maybe like 4 or 5 chips at a time rather than like 20 to 20.
That's smart.
Because you know, I can't go to the grocery store like every day to get new chips. So.
Totally. So I know I just said that I don't eat multiple chips usually, but since these are different flavors, I just got the idea. And I have 2 very small little chips. One is ketchup, I believe, and the other is dill, and I'm going to eat them at the same time.
Ooh, that's a weird combination, though.
It tastes good.
Oh my god. Well, I guess it would taste kind of like ketchup on a burger that has like dill relish.
This is a very like burgery flavor bag of chips, I guess.
Yeah, because barbecue, ketchup, dill, and is that it? All 3?
And then salt and vinegar, which it's like salt and vinegar goes with everything. In my opinion.
Some people put vinegar on their fries and shit. That's a very summery bag.
It is. Well, it's called patio potato chips.
This one is really good. See that? Like,
ooh, that's gonna be so crunchy.
People on the pod can't see the picture, but I will give you a nice crunch.
Wow, that was like a chip commercial crunch. Like, I might have to save like that little snippet of audio and use it as like a sound effect.
Oh my gosh, use it in the intro.
The bell sound and then crunch. Wait. Oh, that is such a good idea.
The logo is a bag of chips. You should totally do it.
I should. Okay. Future me, you're hearing this, you know.
You have my permission to use the crunch.
Yes, I need a signed form. Actually, no, just whoever's on this podcast, they have to know that all of this can be used for my monetary gain. Not that I'm making any money at this point, but, you know, I'm hoping a snack-themed podcast can only just easily lend itself to snack sponsorships, you know?
Yeah, 100%. What is the, like, most out there chip that you've ever had? I don't have an answer to this off the top of my head, so you can take some time to think.
Yeah, I don't know. out there. Well, I don't know if it's very out there. It's kind of like bougie. And honestly, I didn't really like it. But truffle oil chips.
Mm.
They have them at Trader Joe's. And I think I've had like a fresh kind, like homemade at a restaurant.
Yeah.
But truffle oil for me, it just is so heavy. I had like 2 chips and I was like, I can't have any more. It's too oily.
Yeah, and people like pack that truffle oil flavor like on, even though like little bit goes a long way, kind of thing.
So I feel like that might be my answer because I can't think of anything else that's like very unique.
Have you had those like Maui white onion chips?
Oh, the whole
or
that
sweet
whole
onion
brand.
Chips?
They have sweet onion. They also have like spicy luau barbecue or something like that. Those are really good too. Yeah, that brand is bomb.
And then what about those chips that are like coconut and avocado oil? I don't like those.
I don't think I've ever had those.
I think they have like a Buddha on the bag, a Buddha bag, and like they're coconut and avocado oil. So like I thought I would like them. Actually, I don't know why I thought that I would like them because I don't like coconut flavor. But yeah, it was just too like oily, probably in the same way that your truffle chips were. Like you could like feel the oil on them.
Yeah,
it was, like, not cute.
Like coats your mouth, kind of. Where it's like I want a dry, powdery chip. Like if it's gonna have flavor, I want it to be like that fake powder.
Oh, I will say, Kettle brand chips, especially the honey Dijon ones at the end of the bag, like those bits at the bottom are pretty oily.
Yeah.
And like I would have no shame in taking my finger, licking it, and scraping all those bits off the bottom of the bag.
I usually do the classic tilt. You straighten the bag so there's a straight line from the corner to the opening where your mouth goes, and you just tap 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 and it all falls in.
I was just about to say, are you that type of person?
Yeah.
I should have known. We're the same.
I mean, we like to eat, like, sorry.
And it's just like such a waste to let those little bits just go. Like
such a waste. If you put those all together, it'd probably be at least 4 chips. Oh my god. Now we're both crunching, so neither of us can really talk very well.
I know.
But these chips are so good. This is the first episode I've recorded where, like, I have eaten the entire episode. I can't stop.
Well, that's the thing, too, though. It's like, chips are like a staple in our lives. Because, like, I remember the first time that I went to a restaurant and had like chips come with my sandwich, like, but like on the plate, and they were like fancy chips.
Ooh, like house-made or whatever.
Yeah, house-made, like those house-made like Kettle chips. And it's just like, okay, riddle me this. I listened to your episode with Chad, and you were talking about kettle corn. Why is it that kettle corn is sweet, but like Kettle brand chips aren't like by default sweet?
Right? I mean, the kettle doesn't make it sweet.
No, the sugar makes it sweet.
Yeah, the sugar. So, like, you'd think kettle corn would come in different varieties where there'd be, like, regular and then, like, sweetened. But, yeah, that is interesting branding on both.
And then also, how do you make chips in a kettle?
I think I've watched, like, a how it's made or...
Are they deep fried?
I don't remember.
Does that change anything?
Let me just do a quick goog. Let's look it up.
You do a goog while I will do some like bag ruffle noises and some chewing.
Okay. Kettle chips are created through a more old-fashioned approach called batch cooking. In this process, cold potatoes are stirred into an oil-filled kettle. The process repeats as another bunch of potatoes gets dumped in and stirred and so on. This is from foodandwine.com. As each new batch of cold potatoes enters the vat, the temperature of the oil drops. The cooler oil slows down the cooking time, which leads to some chips that are darker and some that have weird, imperfect shapes.
Okay, so that's why kettle chips are like folded on top of each other sometimes.
It says these contrasting frying methods yield potato chips that look and taste different from one another, even when the ingredients used to produce both types of chips are similar. Oh, because it was comparing it to something else.
Is this Kettle brand chips specifically?
Oh my gosh. Here's some tea.
What?
Vice President of Marketing for Snyder's Lance, which owns Kettle brand chips and Cape Cod chips. Those are like sold next to each other on the shelf, but they're from the same brand.
Well,
so I guess this is from Kettle and Cape Cod because the VP of marketing for both is the one that gave this answer.
To be honest, I don't know what Cape Cod chips are. Does that make me a bad person?
No, I mean they're basically the same thing.
What do they look like?
They always have like a little lighthouse on their packaging.
I'm going to do a quick Googs. Cape Cod chips. I don't think I've ever seen those. Maybe
it's only in the U.S. and it like got bigger once you had left the U.S.
Maybe. Yeah, I've never seen these chips in my entire life. Here's a question. What do you think about those like Lay's
I love that
flavored...
you're just like interviewing me now.
Well, I mean, it's when I went to school. And I'm like really curious. What do you think about those Lay's chips that or those Lay's contests that they have like every year where it's like, here's a weird new flavor kind of thing?
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yeah, like one time they had like chicken and waffles and I was like, how do you put that on a chip?
Okay, maybe that's like those are the weirdest chips that I've tried because I've definitely tried a few of them. And I think I did try chicken and waffles. And I mean, it was good, but I mean, they're obviously a gimmick. Like, I don't know of any of those flavors that's been so popular that it stayed as, like, a regular flavor that they have in rotation or whatever. But, I mean, they're fun. I support it. I think it's fun to, like, get the consumer involved. And it's exciting for whoever's, flavor gets picked. And sometimes I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I've seen some flavors where I'm like, I am not trying that. Like, that seems not good.
Wasn't there like a maple syrup one at one point? Like, I remember there was like some weird sweet ones. It was like, no.
When it gets sweet, I'm not super down. Like, the sweetest I like in the chips that I usually eat is maybe like the sweetness of a barbecue or those Maui sweet onion ones. The chicken and waffles was sweet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it had like a syrupy flavor, but that's why I like wouldn't say that I would buy them again. But they were like fun to try, and I'm sure I finished the whole bag. What do you think about those?
I don't know. I think Lay's should stick to their tried and true. I get that it's a gimmick, but I've never felt compelled to like try any of the new flavors.
So you've never tried any of those?
I might have tried one when like someone had a bag at some point somewhere, but I don't think I've ever bought a bag of the new ones. Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely a gamble, especially because I've never seen them in a smaller size bag than the average big size bag of potato chips. So it's kind of like a commitment to buy like possibly, I don't know, a $5 bag of chips, versus like maybe $1 or $2 smaller bag.
Although you get more bang for your buck
if
you like them.
But if you don't like them, then you're like, well, now I just have to finish these sad
then you
chips.
just bring them to the next party, and then when people don't like them either, you're just like, yeah, that's why I brought them to this party.
I love this callback to the party chip.
We love a bowl of party chips, although not anymore with COVID.
Oh my God, I know. But so like what we're concluding is, at least between us two, if we're bringing chips to a party, it's either going to be a flavor that we really like because we want to eat it, or it's a flavor that we really don't like and we're trying to get rid of.
If the bag is opened, I didn't like them. If the bag is brand new, they're for me. That's how you can tell, Michelle.
Oh my gosh. Wait, I don't think I ever asked you. Oh, you said it was the same thing. God,
Wait, what?
You keep asking me questions and then I answer and you're like, oh, same. So like I can't even ask you the questions back. That I was going to ask about your favorite childhood chip.
Oh, my favorite chocolate? Yeah, sour cream,
I know.
cheddar and sour cream Ruffles.
Yeah.
Although I do have a soft spot for sour cream and onion Lay's specifically.
Oh yes,
the green.
Okay, yeah, I prefer cheddar and sour cream Ruffles. Sour cream and onion Lay's.
Although I also love me a good barbecue Lay.
Barbecue, I prefer. Actually, Lay's Waves, which is like their answer to Ruffles, but they're different.
Yeah, because aren't the waves are smoother. The Ruffles are kind of zigzag.
And the chip itself is slightly thicker. Like on the thickness scale, I'd say it was like, classic Lay's, then Ruffles, then Lay's Wave. Or Wavy? Is it Lay's Waves or Lay's Wavy?
Lay's really like tried to go in on all the different chips, huh? Because don't they have like Lay's stacks too, like to compete with Pringles?
Oh yeah, I've seen those, and they have their own like Kettle style as well, I think. So, Lay's is king in my book. I kind of based my podcast logo off of them, but
as you should,
changed it up enough so I don't get copyright infringement.
I mean, this is basically a Lay's commercial at this point, so like
they should be paying me. Lay's, please, or even just send me some free chips. Honestly, like I'm down. Let's get some kind of brand deals up in here.
Back to like childhood favorites. Chips though. This isn't really childhood, but like in high school and university, I had a really prominent love affair with the what do they call them in
Are you about to say what do they call them in the States?
Yeah, sorry.
I've been removed for too long. I live in Canada. I'm better than you. I have healthcare. The whole country has legalized weed. Alcohol's delivered to your door.
Weed's delivered to your door. Although right now alcohol is delivered to your door because of COVID. What was I gonna say?
We got it. You're better.
Here they call they're the sweet chili heat Doritos, but you guys call them something different. It's a purple bag.
Oh, sweet chili.
Is it sweet chili?
I think it's just sweet chili.
Okay, here they call them sweet chili heat. Why?
You have to specify that chilies are hot. Okay, maybe Canada's not better. So good though. I love those Doritos.
Hold on. I don't think they're called sweet chili in the States.
I think they are.
Doritos sweet chili. Also, what do you think about a corn chip?
I like a corn chip.
Yeah?
Okay, they're called spicy sweet chili.
There it is.
So I guess America's just as stupid
because chilies, you have to prove that they're spicy.
You guys just have a more sophisticated way.
Yeah, sweet chili heat
instead of spicy. Okay, whatever. You're not that much better than us.
I never said I was better. I just said that it was named something different, Michelle.
I know. I'm saying that you're better because it's true.
I mean, the Premier of Ontario is like a mini Trump anyways, but not going to get into that kind of politics.
Not during our snack time.
No, 100%. But back to corn chips. I have this like irrational fear of tortilla chips.
What?
Okay, I will eat them, but like...
Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong, I will eat them. But like with regular potato chips, I will like shove the whole potato chip in my mouth because I have a pretty big mouth. But tortilla chips, I will either like chew more before I try to swallow, or like I'll bite into it. And that's not the case with most snacks for me. Most snacks are like a one and done pop in.
Are usually really big.
Yeah. Well, and then also like they are so pokey Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it was like a subconscious triangle thing, but like I feel like when they break apart, they're still triangles, and then those sharp corners like get stuck in my throat.
Mm-hmm. No, again, going with the theme of we eat the same way, I very rarely put a whole tortilla chip in my mouth unless it's already broken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because, yeah, they're really big. I mean, unless they're the, like, restaurant style that are super thin, usually they're pretty thick. So, like, when they break in your mouth, they're really sharp. And again, as I said earlier, I'm afraid of cutting the roof of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So, tortilla chips are dangerous. But I will say, I mean, I do love dipping, like, a classic regular potato chip into some dips, but tortilla chips are just perfect for dipping. And also I love salsa and guacamole and like all the other things that you would dip tortilla chips in. Queso, some beans,
Mm-hmm. I love
seven-layer
dip.
Oh, bitch. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I love dips. I love sauces. And so, I mean, all chips, I think, are capable of being dipped into something, but I gotta say, tortilla chips are probably, like, top tier dipping chips.
100%.
Hey, Kevin, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, sure. Luckily, I have my same usernames throughout all my social media, so you can find me at Instagram and Twitter at Kevin John Shazzy. That's KevinJohnShazzy. I don't post much on there, but I like a lot of things and I like to creep and stuff, but I post every so often, so find me on there. It's fun. I also have a YouTube channel, but I haven't touched it in like years and years and years and years, like maybe since university, and I graduated from university like 3 years ago. But it's the same name, Kevin John Shazzy as well. So if you want to find me there, go ahead.
So listeners, you heard the man. Go follow Kevin John Shazzy and be a fan. And now, back to snack time.
Quick question about dips. Are you a scooper, like you like to pile the dip on top of the chip, or are you like a dip and like do you want the saucy bit or do you want like the chunks?
I want the chunks, but I'm not like really scooping. I'm like doing like a light scoop because I want to still taste the chip. I feel like if you get too much dip for one bite, it's very dip heavy. And I want, like, that balance of, like, still the chip flavor and the dip. But I don't want to just, like, dip it in and have nothing. Like, I don't want just, like, liquid on it. Like, I want
the salsa juice.
Yeah, like, what is the point of that? Then you just have a wet chip.
100%. Although I'm not 100% with you on this. I am a big, full scoop. Like, if I could eat this dip with a spoon without someone judging me, I would. And the chip is usually just a vehicle for the dip in my case. Like I won't really dip flavored chips into a dip.
Yeah, like I don't usually do that either.
Like, yeah, if I'm dipping Ruffles into like a ranch or like a sour cream kind of dip thing, it's like the original Ruffles because you don't need that extra flavor.
I will say,
it's like
though,
a lime tortilla.
Literally what I was about to say. I was literally just gonna say lime tortilla chips.
The best.
Okay, I'm not even joking. That's when I like started talking. Like that's what I was gonna say.
You know what? It's because our birthdays are right next to each other, and so we are like the same little cusp babies.
We're cusp babies. Capricornians. You're full Filipino. I'm half Filipino.
There you go.
Like. Yeah. We just, a lot of similarities.
Like kind of the same person.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about lime tortilla chips.
Yeah, fucking lime tortilla chips. They're
so good. First of all, they're good by themselves.
That hint of lime.
But such a subtle flavor that it can easily complement the things that you'd usually dip use as a dip for tortilla chips. And I think that also speaks to tortilla chips in general because they fall under the like Mexican food category. The flavored dips that you would usually use with them, the flavors go really well together. Whereas like, I don't know, white dips with potato chips can vary very differently.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna dip a barbecue sauce or barbecue chip into like a ranch dressing.
Right.
Although barbecue sauce and ranch mixed together is
so
not
good
bad.
for like some chicken tenders, like.
But yeah, I agree. Except for I would never dip a lime tortilla chip into like a cheese sauce. I feel like that would taste weird. Citrus and cheese just has a weird thing to me.
Yeah, I would need to try it to dismiss it wholeheartedly, but it does seem like that would be a little bit interesting.
Maybe like if it was in a 7-layer dip and like the cheese was just one of those 7 layers, then like
yeah, I think that would work. But yeah, but you're like, thinking like a queso isn't.
Yeah, like a full queso con carne kind of thing. Like I don't want lime in there.
Yeah, that might be a little too many contrasting flavors.
How do you feel about tortillas or Tostitos scoops?
I'm not a big fan because the shape of them cuts the roof of your mouth. And my mouth isn't like that big enough to like comfortably be like, here's a whole scoop. Like, because if you do that, like the shape of it, sure, it fits in your mouth. But when you bite down, part of it is just going to be in the middle of your mouth where your teeth aren't. So you're going to be chomping down, chewing with not only your teeth, but also the roof of your mouth.
100%.
Like, it just doesn't work. Unless you bite it, but then it crumbles because it's a weird shape. I do not stand. But I do stand, like, corn chips, like Fritos, those kinds of, like, scoops.
Oh, yeah.
Those,
oh, my gosh, Fritos. Hold on. I'm having a Jimmy Neutron brain blast. Do you remember those?
I know what they're gonna say.
Fritos twists. I forget what flavor they're. Chili Fritos.
Yep.
That is my childhood trip.
Yep.
Or chip. I have not had those in years.
Honey chili. Honey chili?
I don't know what the exact flavor is,
but
Googling you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Fritos.
Honey chili Fritos.
Honey barbecue? Oh, maybe it's just honey barbecue.
Oh, it was honey barbecue twists. But like that twist texture, which isn't great for dipping, to be honest.
No,
but
they're so crunchy.
You're thinking
do you
chili?
know what? Chili cheese Fritos! Those are so good too.
Yes. And do you remember when at sporting events or whatever, they would have like that snack bar and they would serve those Fritos with actual chili cheese on top? Oh, my childhood.
I still to this day, if I'm eating a bowl of chili, if I can sprinkle some crushed up Fritos on top, boom, 100%. That's delicious.
I have not done that in years, but I need to now.
I need to. That needs to be, and it's like so good for it's such a summery kind of feel. I mean, it's really good in winter because chili's so warm, but I feel like adding chips to something is very summertime.
It's very backyard barbecue.
Or
backyard barbecue
patio potato chips as I'm eating right now.
That's how you know those chips are bougie, because they're patio and not backyard. It's patio season, girl.
Oh my god. Doesn't that make it less bougie because you don't have a backyard, you only have like a little patio?
No, I'm thinking like a restaurant patio, like brunch.
Oh, I'm thinking like an apartment patio. I guess patio just has a lot of different meanings.
Yeah, patio. That would be a great drag name. Patio season.
Stop. I wish there was like a website where you could just like come up with drag names and people have to like buy the rights from you to use it, because like that's such a good idea.
Why don't we just do that? Make a website and just be like,
we own the rights
all these
to
names.
all of these.
Do we have capital to invest in like getting copyrights and stuff?
How much does that cost?
I don't know. I've never tried to do it.
Yeah.
But like, if we just like start making all the handles for all those names,
That's true.
and then people like pay us to use them or to have them, patio season is so good.
That is so good. Or like Patty O Siazon.
You know what? If I ever do drag, that is my fucking name. Patio Siazon.
Oh my god. I'm like sweating because I'm laughing and like just so happy with my chips.
Me too. I've
Oh my
eaten so many
gosh.
of these chips. Which,
Me
you
too.
know, isn't good for my rationing, but whatever.
Yeah, we literally were just saying we
I'll
shouldn't
risk it
eat a
for
whole
this.
bag. Oh my god. Well, you know, it's been a fun almost hour with you, Kevin. We both need to stop eating these chips. But obviously, as we've experienced here, we have so much to talk about. So you have to come back on the pod, come up with another chip flavor or another snack. I mean, I know that you like
100%.
snacks, so.
I have plenty of snacks lined up, and I will love
Oh, you
to
have
come
them
back.
lined up? I love that.
Also, like maybe next time I'll have an actual bag of honey Dijon chips.
Maybe I will too. You know, from now until then, every time I go to a store, I'm going to look for them and just keep them on hold.
Yeah, eventually we'll have a honey Dijon redo. But you'll spell it like REDUX because that's fancy.
Is it funny that, like, I know it's not pronounced that way, but I love to read that and say redux.
I also like saying it because I think of ducks, like quack quack ducks.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
The redux.
The redux. Oh my goodness. Kevin, it's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. This has been a very tasty episode of Snack Time. Do you have any final words about chips that you'd like to say here? Speak now or forever hold your piece of chips.
Well, like, obviously, we're going to have another episode on chips further down the line, the redux. But yeah. I will say, you know what? Stay curious in all aspects of life, but also in chips. You know, if you don't think you're going to like the coconut and avocado oil, just try them. And you know what? If you don't like them, you just bring them to a party. Or you just tell your roommates that they could have the chips as much as they want.
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. I like seriously need to like lay down because I'm like
you've eaten so many.
I've eaten, I've laughed, I'm sweating, I'm smiling.
Same. I've been sitting in my closet for over an hour. On the floor. Eating chips.
I love your commitment to sound quality, you know.
If I learned it in school, and so if I didn't do this, it would be an offense to my education that I paid exorbitant amounts of money for. So, you know, I had to put that into practice.
Had to.
Thank you for having me, Michelle. This was so much fun.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me on the playground today at Snack Time.
If only the playgrounds weren't closed here.
Here too. That's why we have to. That's why we have to hang out on the virtual playground of the internet.
Okay. Well, till next time. Enjoy little snack timey friends, and I can't wait to hear your other episodes.
Yeah. Okay. Bye, Kevin.
Bye, Michelle.